and better understand about the pipeline on getting the permits and all constructed between here in Lybrook. And we, as pipeliners of 798, we're pipeline at our finest. We do what we do best. We focus a lot on safety and getting work done right. And I'm lost right here. It promotes our workers to do a better job, meaning good work, good safe environment. Not only, but to give our our natives here some jobs, and it also helps. It helps lessen the traffic of trucks, and it's a sufficient way of transporting gas and oil through pipelining. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Oh, Matthew Sandoval's next. Thank you, Stanley. After Matthew, we have Colleen Cooley.
Hello, my name is Matthew Sandoval. I'm a 14 years 798 welder helper, and this pipeline will help us out, help our community see less truckers. And I do have some property out there, and yeah, I see a lot of them frac tanks and all that stuff go by, and I know most of these guys don't want that, but I'm for the pipeline because I make my living, I pay my dues doing it, and that's my career, and I got a lot of livestock that are out there on the road, and most of our grandmas, grandpas do have sheeps out there that they do attend to along them roads where them trucks run. So that's one of my concern, and like my business agent Chad Gilbert said, all them trucks do have emissions, and some of them, yeah, they do have leaks, and most of them probably break down the side of the road, because I know. I've been there, I worked there, I've been around it, and I built a lot of pipelines. I've been California, New York, Northwest, all the way down to Mexico. So, like everybody said, I do love this land. That's why I want this pipeline to go by, so I can work on my own land instead of some other people beyond it. I want to work on my own land. I want to make money on my own land instead of somebody else. So this project, it's going to bring a lot of people in, but it's just going to be for a shorter time. If this job goes, it's going to be only for like 3-4 months max. And most of these union contractors I work for, they're all environmental friendly. We have a bunch of environmental crew that work through it. We have a bunch of environmental foremen that know what's going on. So that's why I'm here, and I'm for it. And that's why I came here, and I'll probably be going out to Santa Fe tomorrow to do the same thing, because I want this to happen, because I like to be close to my relatives, to my community and all, and I just don't want to travel all over the country, since there's going to be work here close by, and that'll be less wear and tear on my vehicle, because I usually put a lot of miles on it going all over the country trying to find work, hunt down work, and it's pretty much hard to do, and most of the time it's hard on you trying to find a place to get to stay in a motel. So if this happens, I'll be right there in my backyard, sleeping in my own bed. And I'm not the only one. I got an uncle that lives by there, and I got a lot of relatives that lives by there that I work with all the time. and we want this to go through. And that's why I'm here speaking on behalf of my union, and the one and only 798. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Next, we have Colleen Cooley. After Colleen, I have Justin Head. Is Colleen here?
Shikado Shidana Shae Colin Cooley and Ashia Kenyani National Look Adana Bashichin Twahe Glini Dashache and Azafana Dashanella Shantwa Dan Yesanasha. Want to say thank you to BLM and Saddle Butte and everybody that came here today for this public scoping meeting. I attended the Farmington meeting last night, and it was very different than this. It was more of an open house format, and we were not able to provide our public comments like we are right now. So thank you. I am here as a concerned Diné citizen, and I am concerned about some of the following issues regarding this proposed pipeline project. First of all, as far as I know, not all the communities where the pipeline will be going through have been properly informed. And I am here on behalf of some of those people. I am not originally from this area, but I can see some of the impacts just by driving around on some of the back roads and talking to some of these community people. So sending and mailing letters to the chapter officials or to our president Shelley or to the BIA Sharon Pinto is not enough for us. You can't say that's tribal consultation for us for a big project like this. You have to talk to the people. You have to provide, as Anna stated earlier, you have to provide more public meetings before this pipeline goes through. I want to know why you guys are rushing through this, because I remember in December, you guys had the December 4th Lybrook scoping meeting here, and it was the same format. Nobody was able to provide public comments until some of the community members took over. But it was only a 30-day scoping period. Yes, that's probably the NEPA process that you have to go through, but you can't do that out here. You need to give people more time to understand this project. There's a lot of technical information in there. You have to break it down for them. So, and then having like 5, 6 different booths, and then the person has to go to each one and then kind of put all the pieces together. They have to figure it out for themselves. So that's not acceptable. And only after some of us demanded for BLM to extend the comment period and to provide more scoping meetings did they finally approve for these additional meetings in person. But again, I mean, just these 3 meetings are not going to be enough. They're right after another. It's during the winter time. We don't know what the weather's going to be like. And it's in the evening time, so a lot of people are not able to travel very far from their communities. Because you have one in Farmington, you have one in Lybrook, and then you have one in Santa Fe. But how come you haven't gone to how come you can't do the scoping meetings where all these communities are affected, like Pueblo Pintado, Castmere Lake, Whitehorse Lake, and some of the other communities that are possibly going to be affected? So I am requesting more public outreach, and I'm also concerned about some of the road traffic on Highway 550, also on the back roads from Counselor to Ojo Encino. I keep asking about who maintains those roads back there. I still have not gotten an answer. And I'm also concerned about the water. I want to know what will happen if there's an oil spill. You know, I know you guys probably have a mitigation measure that you have listed, possibly in the EA or something that you will list in the EA. But you know, once this water gets contaminated, the groundwater, you can't go back. You know, it's going to be contaminated forever, and then it's going to make it harder for some of these people that live out there to get water. They're going to have to travel farther to haul water. And I understand we all need jobs, but I am asking that the company, Saddle Butte and BLM, follow all the regulations. You know, I'm kind of tired of hearing that oil companies or different energy companies come in onto Navajo land or on indigenous lands, and they get to just do whatever they want, make a lot of money, and then they leave without cleaning up. So that's all I'm asking for, and I would request for a full EIS as well, Environment Impact Statement, which addresses more of the impacts in the surrounding areas of this pipeline. And thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Colleen. Next we have Justin Head. After Justin is Colette Braun.
Hello, everybody. My name is Justin Head. I'm here representing the Western Ranchers Alliance. We have members throughout the Four Corners area and some members that extend on the pipeline's proposed route. And we're kind of here just to, if anybody doesn't know who we are, we kind of enforce environmental and pipeline safety in interest of landowners and any concerned citizens. Wherever we can help, just give everybody the information they need and the people to call in case there is problems and to get more information. But in this circumstance, we're actually in favor of the pipeline. It seems common sense to me because I've been involved with it so long, but the pipeline is the safest, hands down, mode of transportation for natural gas or oil or anything. And with that in mind, the oil's already being drilled here. It's got to be moved. So decreasing the truck traffic has got to be the most, the biggest thing, the hurdle we have here is getting the truck traffic down and everything. But we're going to be constantly monitoring the whole process to make sure that landowners' needs are met and the tribal needs are met. Anybody has any questions, we do have a website, westernranchers.org. Anyway, that's about all I got.
Thank you, Justin. Is Colette here? Colette? Okay. Emmanuel Johnson is next. Emmanuel? Okay. Lynn Wright?
Hi. I came up here with a bad carburetor in my car, so I could only go 50 miles per hour up the hill. I used a half a tank of gas just to be here tonight. And I'm so happy I am, and I'm so glad that you let us talk. I am furious. I am so angry about this pipeline because we, the people, are like abused wives with PSD, and the oil companies are abusive husbands. They keep on promising jobs, which is fantastic to put the pipeline down. Yes, it's going to be like hundreds of jobs. However, once the pipeline is actually built, there's going to be about 5 jobs. 30? See? I mean, that's not worth ruining our country for that. See? I've been to Chaco Canyon 72 times. I love this area. It's made with sandstone and shell, and it's easily disturbed. I'd love to go to Fajada Butte in Chaco Canyon, but they won't allow us anymore because people's footprints even move the stones that create the sun dagger. This is how fragile this area is, and I don't think anybody has any clue or any idea that people come out from outside, and it really ticks me off. I went and did some research on a computer about oil spills, and what usually happens when an oil spill happens is the oil companies have a media blackout, which means nobody hears about it, which means like for instance, Yellowstone River had an oil spill. Did you know that? Did you know that there's oil spill in Michigan, Kalamazoo, Michigan? It's 80 million gallons from the pipeline. I mean, the trucks are leaking oil. So if the trucks are leaking oil, you know the pipeline eventually is going to leak oil. And they promise us jobs, just like flowers from your abusive husband. Nothing's ever going to happen again. We're never going to hit you again. We'll never have a leak again. That's a bunch of... You can finish the point. So they give us flowers. Oh, you have lots of jobs from this. Sure, temporarily, but we are a starving economy, which makes it very lucrative. And why were these oil wells capped for over 30 years? As far as I know of, when we needed the gas at $4 per gallon and more, those wells kept capped. I don't know what the oil companies are up to, but I don't want to be part of it. Okay. It's not a question of will the oil pipe leak. It's when is it going to leak. Because all these oil pipes that did leak, they covered it up. They try to pretend it never happened. And what they do is they don't check them because they will not want to shut down their oil production at all. Plus that, then they have to replace all the ruined pipe. How many millions of dollars does that cost? Instead, they just let it leak, and then we slap our hands and made $6 million for an $8 million barrel leak. So once we let their foot in the door, it'll never be the same. Once we let them build this pipeline, it'll never be the same. Because this is okay, for instance, I got pictures of Mayflower, Arkansas. The pipeline from tar sands from Canada was 60 years old. Did they check the pipeline? Hell no. So now it's leaking in your backyard through the suburbs. Isn't that beautiful? And this land has an aquifer. Oh, time's up. But anyway, I went hiking in Chaco Canyon in 1997, and there was a spring coming out of Chaco River, and it disappeared during the next drought, and I wondered, where did it go to? So I drove up towards Aztec, and the Navajo plant was sucking up all the water from the aquifer of Chaco Canyon. That's where it went. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lynn. Next, Juan Batoni. After Juan, we're looking for George Warito. Hope I spoke that correctly.
Good evening. Like I was named, I'm Juan Batoni. I was trying to get down at the bottom of the list so I would have more than 5 minutes, but I guess somebody got behind me. Anyway, I'm a contractor that talks to all these allottees that the pipelines are getting affected by. We talk to 10, 12 people a day explaining this project. We also do a little bit of work with the Navajo Nation, explaining these to the councilmen, to the wherever the SAS process goes. So, and these 3 meetings that you're talking about, that young lady that's talking about, these are just at the tail end. We've been working these chapter houses, churches, wherever they meet with the last year. We've explained to them the drilling process, what horizontal drilling does. We took core samples, we took maps, we took, and I interpret for not just Saddle Butte, but I interpret for WPX and some of the Encana stuff. And some of the Encana, one of my allotments is leased by Encana. So if this pipeline gets shut down, who's going to pay my royalties? BLM? Are you going to pay my royalties if the pipeline shuts down? I don't think so. They got me on as 20% royalties. I got my basic lease payment, but the drilling coming up, the oil coming up has got to go somewhere, and that's where they buy that oil. And that money is part mine. Just remember that. Alatis ano slinigi dido ta no best tsegi adehodo nido nki beso ian hardene. They're not going to pay us. Those are one of the things we need to remember. Aro the public meetings, we had numerous public meetings. Even with Saddle Butte, we've been to all the chapters that have been named and more. We've been to counselors, Naizi, Warfano, Encino, down towards Backup, Whitehorse. I think we've been to all of those that we did presentations like this. And nobody stood up and said, no, I don't want that pipeline. Out of these spills, the last time it was about fracking, but you don't do any of these pipeliners out there.
Electricity has gone out here in the public scoping meeting.
I'm still listening. Go for it. Keep speaking.
Electricity.
Anyway, the last time the meetings were about everybody was against fracking. Well, all you pipeliners that know the pipeline, I know Russell Smith was an inspector of pipeline. George Warito, the guy that's going to speak next to me, knows pipelining. You don't frack in a pipeline project. You use backhoes or ditching machines, and then the welders can come in and they weld up the pipeline. In this area, we have some of the best pipeline welders in Carson area, the Miller boys.